All right. Hey, Dragons. I hope you're having a great Sunday and watching your Sunday football. I came really quickly to put together this video so I can send you that newsletter as quickly as possible. I'm going to try to make this really quick and short. I did want to just kind of give you a recap of what happened last week. It was such a wonderful experience to be able to meet with legislatures and really great conversations that took place. Um, on Thursday. And so, as you know, or if you don't know, Senate Bill 2 did pass, which means the voucher program it did go into effect. So now that the Senate has passed, they give that over to the House of Representatives. And the House of Representatives, now it's their duty and responsibility to make it happen. So those are the individuals that I met with. And there's four of them um, that were their constituents too here in El Paso. And so just so you know, in El Paso, we have a strong support system when it comes to public ed. And so all of the representatives had something different that they believe in but they, things that they want a little bit more information. So I'm going to be working with them to be able to provide them more data and information, anything from attendance to immigration and attendance, to safe schools, to how our funding is being affected here at schools. And relatively speaking, one of the things that is just not, um, that people aren't a fan of is the closure of schools and what's that's done to El Paso ISD. So things of that nature, some of those concerns that were brought up. I did heavily focus on being the equality between a private school and a public school. And so as I mentioned last week, it is $6,100 per pupil for public school. And then I need to make a correction on the private school sector. They will be receiving $10,000 for students, and then students with a disability, 11,200, and then students that will be homeschool will receive $2,000. So those are some of the items that I was able to update and get a little bit more information on. One of the things that just some of the things, just some hot points that I did speak to the House of Representatives was, what's going to happen to, like, for example, can private schools truly be able to provide an adequate learning environment for students with special needs? For example, are there going to be units with, students like in the AIM unit, in the BIC unit, in the CRC units, even students with learning disabilities, like in resource, co-teach? Because what we know to be true in a private school, if they don't want your kid there, they don't have to tell you why they don't want them back. And so that is where students start coming back to the public sector because they don't want to deal with your kid. They can't provide services to your student. We know that when it comes to speech, the students get speech services in public education here at our schools. And so we have to provide those even if they attend private schools. So we talked a little bit about that. When we're talking about private schools and having the students with disability, it really refers more to students with speech issues. And so, what's that going to look like? I talked about also equity in teacher pay and in teacher accountability and student accountability, because what we know in private sector, they take a norms test. And in our public schools, we take the STAR test, which is costing us millions of dollars in state taxpayer amounts, right? And so what will that look like? Will we all have to assess our students and STAR? Are we all going to do a norms test? Because you have to, if you're going to be looking to see if one sector, private or public, does better than the other, then we need to be able to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. It's not fair and it just doesn't make sense. So, those are some of the questions that I did have. One of the things that we know too is that because of inflation, we're making less than we did 20 years ago. And that's highly concerning. What the senators will tell you is that teachers are going to be getting a pay raise. So sit tight and, hold on to your horses because it's coming and it's going to be, we're going to be happy about it. Are we? I don't know because inflation keeps increasing. And so I don't know that that's going to be uh, something that's going to benefit us as educators. But those are definitely conversations that we had, information we're going to be providing to them from our organization to the legislatures, and then also EPISD is going to be providing information as well, some of the items that we discussed within the respective representatives. I keep saying reps, but it's representatives. Um, that they need to be able to put together. So what happens now is that the when we went on Thursday, they hadn't received their committee. So depending on the committee that they're in, is a committee that they're going to be voting or creating the plans to pass these um, this bill. And so what they did say is like give us the information because they have their friends, the Democrats or wherever, any other party that are pro public or just to be able to create a narrative and be able to work all those items out. One of the things that was relatively concerning to me was like, the Senate passed the bill stating that if you make $160,000 and you have a child that can go to school K through 12, you qualify for the voucher because you're considered to be in the under poverty line. 167,000, that was a lot of money to me with a family of four. But yet TEA there says 43,000. So I asked that question. So, well, what is it? I mean, because those are two separate numbers. And there's an outlier here. Which one is it? So what the Senate said is that, I mean, the House of Representatives, what they mentioned is that they're really going to have to work on possibly halting this process. They're also going to work into um, making amendments to the bill, exemptions to the bill, because there's still a lot of research and a lot of information that they need to be able to pass this bill. And they're going to heavily need to depend on teachers, on all educators that are in public schools. So, one of the things that they want to know and they want to hear our stories because we're the ones that are on the ground, boots on the ground, and we're the ones really living this life, living how it is to be in public ed. So don't be surprised if you ever get called in for your story. I mean, don't get nervous either, but they are going to depend on us as public educators to be able to provide the narrative that they need to make, a bill either pass or not, or pass in our favor. Okay, so I'll talk more about to you more about it to you all as the days come. But overall, it was a really great experience, and I felt really good to be able to be a strong advocate for us as educators. All right, next things. Right now below this video, you're going to see two screenshots. One screenshot's going to be you're going to see a graph, and in that graph, you're going to see the STAR 2024. Map BOY, Star Interim 1, and Map MOY. And so you're going to see how we're growing. And it's basically what it is that the analyst from our district, they created a formula. And within that formula, what it does, it's going to give us a predictor. So they kind of like meshed all of the assessments together to see how will we perform at STAR 2025. Okay, so we're heavily forecasting to see how we're doing. I did the work on Monday. I reviewed it with the ILT later that day. We're sitting at a low C right now in domain 1, but that doesn't include science. Okay, so even though that we have a C, remember we still have to work heavily on ECR, which is going to be a lot of points if we don't make that right. And then our math scores are alarming. We do have to make sure that we really get in and get those math scores up. So we're going to be like hitting all of our math students in math in because we got to get it done, guys, because it's either going to tank us or it's going to get us through. We're doing a good job. We're moving forward. We're growing for sure. The growth is showing, but we still have time, and we've got to get over that hurdle. So do not take your thumb off of that goal. Okay, do not lose focus because we're on it. Friday doing PLC, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about that, but I did want to give you a heads up as to where we're at and what do we need to do. Now, the second infographic that you see there is going to be the maps MOY for math on one side and then read literacy on the other side. So it's a the district presented this to the board at the board meeting this past Tuesday because the board wants to see how all schools are growing, and if we're not, what are we doing about it? So we are showing significant we're showing growth. So that's really good. So keep it up, and we're depending on everybody. This is K through 5. No one is exempt from this data. And you'll see that we've passed several schools that you're going to probably be really surprised. So that's good because we've got to measure growth because as educators, remember, it is our responsibility to grow our students 1 year every year that we have them. So continue to push, continue to do your interventions, continue to have that rich tier 1 instruction. And now as we're going into impact tutoring, we're going to go, go, go and get it done, and make sure that that gets done well. All right. And then last but not least, I do want to share, I want to say thank you for all the congratulatory messages, whether you send them to me on my text messages, through WhatsApp, on Facebook, through email. I've received a lot of support and well wishes, and just thank you so much for those congratulatory messages. It really means a lot to me. It's just one way that shows the work that I'm doing for our school, through my part. But you know what? None of this can take place without a team, and it's all within the work that we do and in the team that we've created. So, I'm very proud to be your principal. I'm excited to continue to grow. I'm excited to, keep moving that needle, guys. We're going to continue to do this together. Again, thanks so much for believing in me. Know that I believe in you. And just thank you for everything. We got some work to do. Wednesday, we're going to have RPD. We're going to do data circuits. It's going to be something that we've created. So we're going to try something new, but it's data. We're just going to go, go, go to make sure that we're all on the same page, tracking everything that we're doing. Make sure you're hitting those MTSS minutes, guys. Highly, highly important. We haven't moved the needle, and you got to get those in. I've had some feedback that several of you have not entered interventions. We got to get it done. Okay. There's no other way to say it. Please get that done. All right. So hope you're having a great Sunday fun day at your Super Bowl. Go Falcons or go Chiefs, whichever is your choice, or go your pot squares, whatever that is. Or lastly, maybe you're there for the halftime show, and the commercials. Nonetheless, I'll see you Monday, guys. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget, it's Kindness Week. Show your students how to be kind. Be kind to one another. Thanks again, and thanks for all you do. Take care.